And now for a gay old time, my favorite segment, where I get to bring some more voices in on the matter and talk about the subject at hand. And tonight, of course, we're talking blood donations. So, now, just between us squirrel friends.
What were some of the questions you were asked to donate blood? Before you donated blood?
Before I donated blood, first of all, I had to know my group, my blood group.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, blood type, yes. Then, like my status, all the stuff. So yeah, those were the questions I was asked.
And they didn't go beyond that?
No, they didn't go beyond that. Like, especially about my sexuality.
Before we open to the question, I just need to ask quickly, do you guys think there's a stigma surrounding people and blood donation? Gay LGBTQ plus people and blood donating blood?
There is. I think there is a stigma. If you can check the statistics of HIV and AIDS in terms of MSM in Gauteng particularly, it's so high. So now they check those kind of things firstly. So that's why they discriminate, or there's stigma based on that. Yeah.
I also think, Leslie, a person cannot judge you without knowing your status because he's never tasted you or done anything about you. So I think for you to be sure if I can be able to donate the blood, you can never judge me firstly without looking at me and saying, oh, okay, you cannot donate blood just because of maybe your sexuality. I think maybe you're HIV positive, or maybe you can your blood is infected with some STIs or anything. So I think in order for you to be sure about that, you have to test me first.
It's so unfortunate that a friend of mine went to donate blood, and he was obviously asked about his status. He was asked about whether he had performed sex with other men. And then I found that question very offending and very degrading in a way for such a big company like that company to ask silly questions like that. And he was denied because he was gay. He didn't donate blood, even though he fitted the criteria. He was negative and all, and he was very healthy. He ate fresh, he went to gym, and he did all the good things. But just for the mere fact that he was gay, he was denied the right of donating blood. So there is stigma.
Why do you think that happens?
I think the people are still and they still have that mentality of gay people are the ones who are mostly infected with HIV and who are at risk, and yet we are not the only group that's infected with HIV. They should also check the stats and try to be reasonable with the stats. Also, straight guys have sex with us. Some of them don't disclose that information. They do get the chance of donating blood. So what difference does it make?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I donate blood, and one of the steps, Tina, they will take your history. They take history, like, do you smoke, do you drink, do you have any, headaches, what. And then, obviously, they will test you. And the stigma is so attached that it's so fried. I tested, for an example, I tested, let's say, 3 years back. And then the next time I went to test, I went with my gay identifying friend, whom you can see that is gay. From the files that I have, I've been donating, and then there were these questions now, do you guys take drugs sexually? When was the last time you had condomless sex? After people being tested, and it was so far to such an extent, there was, I think Lesego can vouch on that since she's a journalist, black blood was once thrown away, except LGBTI. People donated tons and tons of blood, but it was thrown away because it's black blood. So,
okay. Just to throw it to everybody on the floor, based on what you said, that they were asking some very invasive questions that you felt were unnecessary. But don't you think those questions are necessary from an LGBT perspective? It's just us in here, and we can talk and we can be honest. And we do know that LGBT community, especially gay men, can be sexually reckless. We see it, we are it. And so don't you, aside from the fact that it is quite unfair and somewhat discriminatory, but as gay people, don't we ever look at ourselves and go, Like, or just amongst your friends, when your friends tell you a story like I went and did this, no span ban, because we've all had those moments within our personal spaces. So now what I'm asking is, why are we surprised? Because we know I'm not saying they're right, please don't get me. Maybe it's the right word. Why are we so offended, or why are we so touched when healthcare professionals do sort of scrutinize us with a magnifying glass because of this?
That I'm high risk. I will never actually waste my time and go and say I want to donate blood. Hence, out of 100, maybe LGBTIQ or MSM that they know their lifestyles and stuff will never bother themselves to go there. So I think you go there knowing that you just want to maybe help out, make a difference. I will never go there, no, I'm a junkie. I will never go there, no, I'm HIV positive. I will never go there, no, that I'm a pool of STIs. I go there knowing very well that.
I personally think that the stigma around it, I had experienced that. I once went there with my friend. So when we got there, they will ask questions which are so irrelevant that they would even try 1,000 ways to kill a cat. They would say, when did you do your piercing? And unfortunately, me and my friend, we did it at the very same time, but she managed to do it. Hence, I always say, they would always want a way to say, you can't do that. And I strongly believe that everybody, whether you're straight, you're bi, you're gay, you have a chance of being infected. So if I can't do it, surely you can't.
The same rules should apply for
Everyone.
Another reason, because these people still have the mentality of gay people are the most dangerous one, and they tend to forget that they also, the heterosexual people, do the things that we also do. The heterosexual people do sleep with each other in the club, and we also do that. But I don't get, why do they allow them, where else they do also do what we do.
Thank you. Our last
The main thing is that firstly, I want to say reckless. It's a bit harsh, and then another thing, it's the way the community perceive us. They see us as these people who always love fun, love partying, and yet if you get to know us, we are still brothers, we are still uncles, we work, we do normal things as they do, and forgetting that being gay, it's one taboo thing, and hence we perform these sexual activities in taboo places. We are running away from stigma, and yet we can't do anything about that, because we can't go to my place. I can't go to my place with my partner because my mom will go haywire, but my brother can come to my house with his girlfriend, and then everything will be okay. So I have to have sex in the bushes, and so obviously it's going to be seen as reckless.
I understand what you're saying. You're saying that society pushes us to have these, to perform these weird and sometimes dangerous acts because they don't accept us in normal spaces. So we have to operate in the abnormal spaces.
Exactly.
That's a good point, actually. Would you accept blood from someone else in this room?
No.
But that brings us back to what we were saying, because we're saying straight people discriminate against us, blood banks discriminate against us. Then I ask you if you'll accept blood from, and you say hell no.
Yes.
For me, it's a yes.
Hell no. Let's try and cover both.
For me, it's a yes. I can accept that blood because, first of all, I know exactly the person who donated the blood will never be allowed to donate that blood if it's not clean. So what's the reason of me neglecting that blood because it's clean, it's been tested? Yes, I will never know.
Yes. But we as gay people, we look at the stigma outside. We're saying straight people. Hence, we us are challenging ourselves. The problem is within us. We need to first fix inside, and then we can say, what are straight people doing? Because now it's a simple question.
are you going to take blood from someone in this room? And then you say no. Why? Because this person qualifies. Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Well, thanks for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure as always.